Welcome to Look Back Laughs. Today on the show, we look back at one of the great Canadians of all time, comedy hero of mine. My God, what can we say? We're going to say it all on this episode of Look Back Laughs. Today, we look back at the career of Norm Macdonald. Boom. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Look Back Laughs. I'm Pete Zedlacher. You know me from Canadian stand-up comedy. You saw me on that show one time. This is Look Back Laughs, where we look back at a comedian or a comedy that has inspired me in the past to get into this career myself. Somebody that's inspired me to take the stage and try stand-up comedy. And today on that note, we're going to look back at the career of Norm Macdonald, someone who I've admired for before I got into comedy and my entire comedy career. Super fan of his. And with me on every episode is, of course, my buddy Scott, who is in Korea. Hello, Scott. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? It's going pretty good. It's a nice sunny day here today, and it's nighttime for you, good. So goes to show the distance.
It is
between us.
Yeah, so that's the time change. It's I'm recording this in the middle of the night, and where are you? Is it middle of the morning?
Middle.
What time
afternoon.
is it there for you?
Around 3 o'clock p.m. So.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah.
Probably.
And it's Friday night here, but it's Saturday afternoon there.
Right. So I'm in the future, but we're working this out.
You are in the future, yeah. Okay. Have we solved the COVID problem yet in the future?
Not yet, but we're closer to solving it here than I think back there. So
I bet you're absolutely correct. Yeah.
Everything over here is open except for large events like concerts and sporting events. Everything else has always been open.
Oh yeah, so restaurants are open. You can go to a restaurant and sit down and
they've always been open.
Is that right?
Bars and
man, that's amazing.
Bars,
I didn't know that.
Restaurants,
and you're in South Korea. We should point that out too. You're in South Korea.
Yeah. Not the north.
You never get up to the north, do you? No. Okay. And how's COVID going in North Korea? Year. Do you know?
I think it's going pretty good. I think they're going to be the main supplier of the vaccine, as far as I know.
North Korea?
Yeah.
North Korea is supplying the vaccines for...
No, they're going to supply for the world. Just wait. They've been working on this remarkable vaccine that's going to cure everything. So
North Korea is making a vaccine that's going to cure everything? Okay. You fished me right in there. Like you sold it so properly. I'm like, what are you being sold in Korea right now? Because that's not anywhere close to. Okay, good. I'm glad.
Nobody knows what's going on.
I'm glad
who knows?
Yeah, I guess that's the point. Yeah, I'm glad Kim Jong-un hasn't sunk his teeth into your brain matter yet. That's good.
No.
Keep safe in South Korea. I'm safe here in Alberta, relatively. We're shut down tight here. There's nothing's open. Like no movie theaters, nothing's going on. So this is my only creative outlet is talking to you about comedians that inspired me over the years in this show that we came up with called Look Back Laughs, and I'm so appreciative of it. So thank you for putting it together once again, Scott.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It has been fun. Yeah, it's been I've learned some stuff, and it's been a real learning experience about comedy in the wide arc of my career. I've been in this 25 years, and I've seen comedy change so much over the years, and it's fun to look back and see what nuggets worked and what would not work in the future, and what doesn't work now. It's been a fascinating journey. So on that note, we're going to look back today on the career of Norm Macdonald. So let's kick it off.
So Norm Macdonald, how did you get into Norm Macdonald, or where did you first see Norm Macdonald?
I think the first time I ever saw Norm was on the Just for Laughs program, like the one that they film at Just for Laughs in Montreal, the big gala shows that are broadcast on CBC. I was probably a young teenager and discovering stand-up, discovered Late Night with David Letterman, discovered stand-up, and discovered Just for Laughs. So I think the very first thing I ever saw of Norm Macdonald was on Just for Laughs on CBC. And if I remember this correctly, we'll find the clip, but he talks about a guy that kills his family because Satan told him to kill his family. And then what if it was just his neighbor pulling a prank on him? And I remember the punchline being like, Bob, you got me, Bob. You took your mask off. You're not the devil at all. You're just Bob. You really got me, Bob. And that got me hard. So did not get me hard. It hit me hard.
Then you go, Bob! Jeez, you got me there, Bob. You got me.
Yeah, I became a Norm Macdonald fan immediately. And that, of course, that was when Norm made his big break. He performed at Just for Laughs, got some U.S. representation, and ended up moving down to the States and started writing for the Roseanne show. And then from Roseanne, he got on Saturday Night Live, and yeah, that was his rocket ship to fame. Was that first set at Just for Laughs, and
so he got on SNL, I think around 1993, and I think that's the first place that I saw Norm. Okay, it's the first place I saw Norm Macdonald. To be honest, I either I totally forgot or whatever, but I didn't even know he was Canadian until we started doing this, or it just slipped my mind. But
is that right? Yeah, born in Quebec City. We discovered, right? I thought it was Ottawa, and you told me it was Quebec City. I believe he born in Quebec City and then raised in Ottawa because his first kind of stand-up was at Yuck Yucks in Ottawa, a club that I've played many times. Norm Macdonald moved down to the States and ended up on SNL and might be my favorite Weekend Update host. Ballsy. That's the way to describe Norm Macdonald on Weekend Update. There was jokes on there that would end in dead silence, that would just kill me. Like there was a core audience that just ate that up. Just that dry deadpan. I remember one joke he did was about Tommy Morrison, the boxer, and he had just gotten HIV, and Norm's joke on Weekend Update was they asked Tommy Morrison. They said, they asked the boxing officials, "Are you concerned that Tommy Morrison might? Are you concerned about Tommy Morrison with his HIV diagnosis getting into the ring?" And the boxing official said, "Yeah, they might get AIDS." And that was the punchline. It was just dead silence, and it got me again. That's just a different brand of humor that Norm has, and Letterman has said it many times. Like he's the funniest of that generation of comedian, and I agree. There's a spark of brilliance in Norm Macdonald that is far outshines that whole generation of comedians. And then I got to see Norm perform live last year. He performed here in Calgary at the Laugh Shop, and man, he floored us for an hour and 20 or so, and it was great to see him live. Brilliant and a huge inspiration to me, obviously.
Yeah, so Norm Macdonald, obviously, I don't know too much about him. Like, I was a fan, but I'm not like a huge fan of Norm Macdonald. So Saturday Night Live, I remember maybe two of his characters that became popular were his Burt Reynolds, and I think who was the guy running for president? Was it Bob Dole or something? The guy that had the gimp arm and the pen, and he would hold the pen. Like,
yes, he had a troubled arm.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole, yes, Bob Dole. And his impression of Bob Dole, if you look back on it, was not an impression of Bob Dole at all. It was just Norm Macdonald doing an exaggerated version of his own impression. Hey, I'm Bob Dole. That was his impression, and that's why it floored me so much, because it was not an impression at all. And then Norm said this in interviews too, like his impersonation of Burt Reynolds was Burt Reynolds in the 70s. Like so when he would do all these appearances on SNL as Burt Reynolds, it wouldn't be Burt Reynolds in 1993. He was doing Burt Reynolds from 1977, like the Smokey and the Bandit. I love that so much. The Celebrity Jeopardy.
I remember, Celebrity Jeopardy is where I remember Burt Reynolds from. Yeah. And the one episode where he had the huge sponge like cowboy hat as Burt Reynolds.
The big cowboy hat. Yeah, chewing gum. And then, just as an aside, Norm had performed at a comedy club in Toronto, and somebody heckled him and said, "Hey, do Burt Reynolds." And Norm's just doing his stand-up at a comedy club, and he was like, "Yeah, there's a whole thing that it's a jacket I gotta wear, and it's a whole. It's not just an impression. I gotta do. I got a hat.
Mustache.
There's a mustache I got to put on." I just like doing that Norm Macdonald impression. It's and I think back to my first joke writing sessions was like in that cadence of a Norm Macdonald. Hey, I got a joke for you. Hey, I'm Norm Macdonald. That's I've got two impressions of Norm Macdonald. There's young Norm Macdonald, which is Bob, you got me. Bob. Right? And then there's the older Norm Macdonald, who I saw here in Calgary last year, and be like, hey, how's it going? It's a little subdued now. Like young Norm was like, hey. Now it's like, you got me there. Hey. Yeah, it was the wolf man came at me there. I'm scared of the wolf, not so much the man. That was a joke that he was working on that floored me. Yeah, obviously, I'm a tremendous fan of Norm Macdonald, and
and obviously,
hope to work with him one day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously, he's one of those guys who is still an active comic, at least up until this past year. With the pandemic and everything. But you saw him about a year ago, so he's still hitting the stage when he can, by the sounds of things.
He still is, yeah. He put out a brilliant Netflix special 2 years ago. Hitler's Dog. Hitler's Dog is in the title. I can't remember the entire title. Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Worth checking out. It's fun to watch these guys that you've admired since the mid 80s, the late 80s, and then they're still churning out tremendous amount of killer material. All these years later, like 30 years into the game. And Norm Macdonald is still hitting home runs. It's inspiring. He still continues to inspire, which is great. Which is, you need that. You need that in comedies. You either get better or you get lost in the wake. And I think Norm is one of those guys that has just matured into a brilliant force of comedy. He's going to be around for decades to come. He'll do comedy as long as he wants to. That's exactly what's going to happen.
So with Norm Macdonald, to be honest, I was actually surprised you picked him for doing this little video series that we're doing here.
Oh, yeah?
I was actually, I mean, I knew you were a fan, but I didn't realize how he inspired you type thing or influenced your comedy. So exactly why did you pick Norm Macdonald?
Oh, for that exact reason. He was one of those first comedians that I got to see on Just for Laughs on CBC. He might have been one of those first comics that I saw on Canadian television that was not famous but still killed me and inspired me. Up until that point, I had seen famous comedians performing on television that had made me laugh. But Norm, at that time, I didn't know who he was, and just his material alone and his delivery inspired me. So right from the get-go, Norm lit that fire, gave me that spark of wanting to try stand-up, and then of course, living in New York and going to Saturday Night Live tapings all the time. You know, I'd see Norm on Weekend Update. So that's funny to think back on all those episodes of SNL that we had seen over the years. I think the first one I saw, Dennis Miller was still the Weekend Update anchor. Yeah, and then, my God. Kevin Nealon was the host, was the Weekend Update host, and then Norm Macdonald. So I got to see 3 different Weekend Update hosts in my live tapings of SNL. And Norm still might be my absolute favorite. That's a tough question. Like when you think of it, like who was the best Weekend Update anchor? That's 40 something years of television to think of who hosted that segment the best. They've all brought their own take to it for sure. But I think Norm's has been the most unique take of Weekend Update. They're worth watching. I'm sure you put some like links into the description of some of his best clips from Weekend Update, because they're fun. You could spend a whole afternoon watching some Weekend Update clips of Norm Macdonald. Worth checking out, and also watch his Netflix special. Tremendous. So that's the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's been great to look back on the career of one of my absolute favorites, Mr. Norm Macdonald, Canada's own. Thanks for tuning in. You can check out all our socials in the link below. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification button to let you know when new videos get uploaded. We try to do it every week. We have new episodes coming out every week. And you can check out Scott's social medias as well. They're all in the link below. Thanks so much for doing this, Scott. Stay safe over there. Mm-hmm. And we'll do another episode soon. Hey, cool?
Yep, all good.
Right on. Thanks. Take it easy. Hey, see you later. Bob, you got me, Bob. Hey, you got me. Hey, you made it right to the end. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for checking out the video. If you liked it, again, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to see all the episodes. And then check out some of the other clips that we got bouncing around here on the screen to my left and right. And we'll see you again down the road. Take care, everybody.